Okay, welcome back to the channel, right? In this video, we have Gilly and Wallow. They're asking J Prince and J Prince Jr. what the definition of mob ties is. Let's get to it.
What is the meaning, the definition of mob ties?
Movement of bosses together in elevated structure.
Movement of bosses, right? The one thing I don't like is, as soon as Wallow asked him the question, he already had the answer ready. I'm talking about he had the answer ready like he was expecting to be asked that question. All right. And if you watched this interview, you saw how shaky both of them kind of were. When you look at other interviews, other things they've done already, this interview, they didn't look too comfortable, man. And it makes you wonder why.
Ain't that powerful?
I never knew. No, I never heard it that way.
Did you catch that? Wallow said, I never heard it that way. That was the most polite yet undercover way that he could jump out there and say, that's some bullshit. And I ain't never heard that in all the years that y'all been screaming mob ties. Ain't nobody ever made it an acronym. Ever. Until Young Thug and YSL and then went down with the RICO. And who was that other group? Some other Houston, I forgot what his name is. Some other Houston rapper. His crew just recently got hit with some RICO charges or whatever. So if you don't know much about RICO, pretty much the reason why they started it and made the RICO charges is to make it easier to take down a whole organization. All right. All I got to do is tie you to all these other things that went on. It doesn't matter if you did it, but if I can tie you to those things, you guilty too. So what they did was, in my opinion, they did this interview. They came to the $1 million worth of game show and gave them a list of questions. This what y'all gonna ask us. This right here. Because they was too prepared for it. Pay attention.
Basically, our goal is
Say that one more time.
movement of bosses together in elevated structure.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes all this here, you know what I mean? All these related. You know, all this here, these bosses. What is this here? That's,
All boss brands.
That's Drake. Carl Crawford, 1501. That's Megan Boss. Mob Ties. You know, Finesse, Honeycomb, and then the one and only. I love this shit.
The one and only, the motherfucker that broke the doors down.
If that wasn't the cheesiest laugh you ever heard in your life, that shit wasn't funny. And the crazy part about it is, it's a good thing you just so happen to be wearing all the chains, all the hardware of all the people that's associated with mob ties, the movement of bosses. That's the new name for it, movement of bosses.
Oh, good.
Absolutely, man.
But it's, you know, I love that name, man, and I wanna talk about that for a minute because, you know, the enemy wanna belittle us to gain conversation and all that small shit. And that ain't what I put in him from a boy. You know what I mean? From a babe.
Let me stop it right there, right? Here's one thing I don't like. I'm not saying that just because you speak well that you're intelligent, right? I'm not saying that. But I am saying if you're going to try to come across as intelligent, in my opinion, you need to speak well. And one thing that J Prince and his son both have a habit of doing, they have a habit of throwing around words that are maybe big words to them, but transpire, transgressions, and this, that, and the third. They like to try to sound so intelligent, but at the same time, in a lot of different interviews I've seen, they have a habit of using the wrong words in improper context. I'm not saying that makes them stupid. They got a bunch of chains around their neck. They got money, way more than I got, even though money don't make you smart. But at the end of the day, I just think that if you're going to try to play the intelligent role, I think you should sound it, look it. I think everything should tie in together. That's just my opinion.
I didn't put no all that weak shit in him. You know what I mean? He has an entrepreneurial mind. This is something that he dreamed. You know what I mean? He been dreaming, blood, sweat, and tears went into this name, and it wasn't on no negative bullshit that they try to paint the portrait on, you know. So now
That they try to paint the portrait on. What are you talking about, bro? Hey, listen, you got to watch how you speak about certain people because this dude is obviously feared and respected in the industry for what I don't know. You know, that's the bad thing about putting in work in the streets, though. When you put in work in the streets, a lot of times the work you put in, it got to stay in the street. You know, you can't walk around outside of the street talking about all the work you put in because that's how you get put in jail. Right? So at the end of the day, like I feel like I'm not saying he ain't put no work in out there. I'm sure he has, man. Dudes ain't walking around scared and talking like Gilly and Wallow in front of this dude for no reason. It's got to be something to it. You feel what I'm saying? This dude had Floyd Mayweather scared back in the day. He used to manage Floyd. You know, look into it. So at the end of the day, there's something about this dude that's legit. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like the way he been moving lately, all these interviews and all these calling people out and all this talking, I kind of like the mysterious version of Jay Prince better. When he was the boogeyman and nobody knew why, I like that guy better. The more he talks, the more he just pulls back the curtain and you get to see a little more of who he is. That's why a lot of times they say tough guys move in silence and this, that, and the third. People are a lot less likely to try a person if they don't feel like they got you figured out. And I think some people, you know, NBA Youngboy, you know, a couple other people, Hassan Campbell, a few different people have called this dude out his name. And I done heard about Jay Prince Jr. getting the taste smacked out his mouth. I don't know how true it is. But at the end of the day, the mystique surrounding the Prince name is starting to come down. And I feel like what you see this guy doing in a lot of these interviews is trying to increase that respect level that his sons have kind of knocked down out there in the streets. Because his sons move around like they're the ones who put this work in, but nobody respect them like that. People just know that if you holler at or do something to Jay Prince's sons, then 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to answer to this dude. So that's my 2 cents, man. Get in the comment section. Tell me if y'all believe mob ties stands for mountains of bullshit. This is exceptionally stupid, or whatever the hell he said the shit stand for. Tell me if y'all believe that's what the hell the shit stand for. Get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. All right, I'm out.